It's okay. I was just here enjoying my White Claw and just thinking about like, man, this guy's really running late today. Is he even going to show up for service?
Oh,
Jesus fuck! I was just gonna call Chris and be like, "All right, Chris,
no,
listen, I'm gonna need you to bring the energy today, okay? I'm gonna need you to shoot up some drugs. We're gonna have to crank it up to 10.
I would like to. I
will not be introspective today.
I had a good joke, but it's kind of brutal and violent, and I don't think Chris's humor would, because when I utter violent threats against you, obviously, it's just goofs. But I don't know, I think Chris is the type of guy who would take it seriously. Like, what do you mean he wants to smash my brains over the past?
He would slide into my DMs like, so he's joking, right? I don't know, man. He sounded pretty serious on the show. It got pretty heated. I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to find out, man. We're gonna start drama within our own little community.
I mean, you guys aren't my therapist, but I think it's the fact that in the childhood stages, I was always compared to everybody in the family. So as soon as anybody's in a similar position, I immediately want them to crash and burn. Unless
I'm my own person, everyone. That's what DC does.
I am not a product of my environment. I am very special, very cool. Did you know
you
that
want
my
your
own
environment
taste?
to be a product of you?
Yeah, but that's not true, though. Can we admit this? I mean, let's not get too philosophical, but everybody's dependent on what happened to them. You can't change the world. My final message,
Well, we can try, DC. That's a piss poor attitude you got going on.
No, I'm all with the Michael Jackson style. We are the world, we are the children. It's time to change. That's one thing. Yeah, be positive and not positive, but be a good influence on what surrounds you. However, what happened to you? Would it be like a bad experience in the kitchen? This is still a line cook show. You know what I'm saying? Like a real bad service, whatever. That shapes the way you interact with future employers, with future chefs, with future freaking front of house staff.
It sure does, DC. It definitely does affect the way I'm going to be approaching every goddamn employee I'm ever going to interact with. I'm going to start every service hocked up with drugs.
Oh yeah, really? Why'd you bring up drugs?
Because that's our topic for today on the Cook Will Sway. We'll be discussing drugs. Yes versus no. Dare versus do it. Dare to dream or manifest the drugs into your life.
Yes, that's a possibility. Also, we might talk about the link between how easy it is to go from line cook to meth cook. Do you think that's possible? It's both cooking. It's just a different style. Everybody's trying to find a new thing.
It's all the same, man. We're all part of this food sphere. We're all part of and even beyond food, we're part of the great consumption sphere.
True.
You consume food just the way you consume meth. You're served.
I never smoked flan.
You are not living.
I never had ribeye steak.
You clearly have never been to Alinea.
All right.
Their next 24 courses are going to be smoked everything.
Yeah.
Smoked flan, smoked ice cream, everything smoked. We're going to smoke everything. And it's going to be up to you, the guest, to figure out which one is crystal meth.
Yeah, that's a good way to interpret what I said. I mean, like, actually smoke. Like, put it in a pipe, a glass pipe, put a little sugar in there, and, like, spike it up. You never did that? Those things where, like, in the 80s, cocaine was big. Remember that?
Ah, yes.
I'm sure you do because you're old. But I'm saying, like, sorry about that. That was really mean and uncalled for. What I'm talking about.
Do you remember when Zima was relevant? Because you were born in the 90s. No, not even. 2000s? Oh my God.
Yeah, I wasn't born in the 90s, but I'm an old head. We talked about it. So anyways, what I'm saying is they came up with this freaking thing in the 90s and 2000s still, where it was this like straw in which there was basically sugar. But it was made exactly how cocaine is distributed. So it's just like this thing. You're supposed to split it open with your hand and then like ingest the freaking sugary. It's not even refined or anything. It's literally just a powder. Remember that? Did you ever have that or no?
Are you talking about pixie sticks?
That might be it. I don't know. What is a pixie stick?
Pixie sticks is like it's about the size of a straw, like a paper disposable straw with the sugar in it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna one up you. When I was in middle school, and I don't know if they still make this.
Probably
but
not
they had
anymore.
Basically pixie stick. Well, back in my day, before the internet,
yeah,
back when Furbies were a thing,
Sorry,
they actually had these like vials, but it was just like pixie sticks, but it was clearly 4 times the amount of one, and it was like in these like little vial things. It was called Crave, and that shit was like, holy fuck, man. One of my my classmates, his parents owned a donut shop and they sold stuff, and he would steal like an entire box full of that and just sell it for like $1.
Damn.
And man, that shit sold out so fast. I would spend my lunch money on that shit. $20 gone down the drain.
$20, bro! In like 1980s, that's
20 vials.
That's like $70 today.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can see why my dad was really pissed off. How the fuck I blew a week's worth of lunch money.
No, but that's actually crazy. How kids, I don't know. I'm sure it's been talked about before, but kids love to consume sugar. But not with, because lots of adults also like sugar. You know, it's you know, obviously this is not a big revelation, but adults like kind of some, you know, refined. They like to have like fine pastries and whatever. Kids will literally eat a block of sugar and enjoy it like it's a friggin' 3-star course meal. You know? Yeah,
they have no taste buds whatsoever. They have absolutely no reference. I don't respect a child that's going to judge my food whatsoever. They don't fucking know.
That's a problem too. If you have a restaurant where children or patrons, you know, the child doesn't like it, parents obviously mad already. It's like, no, we'll return this. And sometimes I have to say this. It happened where I prepared some food, a child didn't like it, and then I had to remake it or like have a refund or whatever. That does make me angry. That makes me. I would do I would do the things I would do to Chris, to the patron who does that. But
do you just hate the word refire during service? Yeah,
what word? I blocked it out. If I had an Instagram filter for the real world, I would filter that word out. I don't want to hear it. You clearly ordered medium. The difference between medium and rare is there. Would you agree? Would you agree that's a real difference that exists?
Between medium and rare? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, clients don't seem to know about that. I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't know where the memo is going.
I lose my mind when they start using the words plus after their temperature for steak. I really hope someone that isn't in the industry is listening to this just because I hope it offends them. Fuck you.
But
I'll take my medium rare plus. Go fuck yourself.
Or even better, when there's a very expensive... you know, whatever, like a filet mignon or filet mignon or whatever, you know, like actual expensive meat that has to be very carefully cooked. And they
Wagyu steak.
Well done. I know it's been said. Today I'm not being revolutionary. I kept my revolution coming. That was yesterday. Right now I'm saying the obvious, but these things have to be said. I would feel, you know, a Chris-like sense of emptiness if I didn't mention these things on the show.
You know what? I'm on the same page with you. Last week I was very introspective in my hour and a half video.
Chris, beyond the past, I love you. Go ahead.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to talk about running Expo. And that's really what I did.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it back to basics. So it's okay, DC. Keep it as basic as possible. Keep that medium rare plus out of my fucking line, out of my path. I don't want to hear it. Don't even come at me. Don't ask me if there's starch in the fucking fries. I don't want to talk about it.
You don't have de-starched fries, man? Come on. You don't have these beyond
We
potatoes.
do our best, DC. We do our best. But we can't get all the starch out.
What do you mean? You're not a chemist? They didn't engage like Werner Herzog to direct a documentary about the chemistry of removing starch from potatoes where you live? Come on. That's the basic.
Oh, my God.
For my $15 meal, I want this.
You're like a goddamn Antoine Fisher of fucking cooking.
All right. Yeah. All right. References. Name dropping. What's up? Let's go. Give me 5 names right now.
Bruce Willis.
Hell yeah.
Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah.
Savannah, just solo. And
Katy Perry.
Prince. Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's 6. Oh, you give me too much. Give him too much. Anyways, I believe it's time to run the intro.
TMI.
I believe it because I got this new setup. I already talked about this on the show. Now I'm standing, and I feel so high energy right now. It's crazy. Never sit down for a podcast.
You're doing this one standing?
Yeah, I'm doing everyone standing from now on, actually. But I have to move away from the mic like Tay Zonday.
What do you think? How do you feel? Do you feel like your energy changes?
I'm jumping right now.
Like much more animated? Yeah, me too. Still talking. I'm just like bouncing like, all right.
It's literally me. But the problem is I have to move away from the mic like Tay Zonday breathing. so I can click on the intro. So, say something super crazy funny right now in the next 3 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Bienvenidos a Cook Will Sway, the only show where we're not really hired professionals, but we're going to do our very best to discuss the meaty, the gritty, the shit Food Network TV just won't fucking cover. In today's episode, we will be discussing drug use, the apparent drug rampant use. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's not okay. I'm just saying that it's here to stay, and we're going to discuss the pros and cons to it and see if it works for you. With my guest, DC, on the mic.
Yes.
What's up, DC?
Fuck me, I guess. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We're going on. We're going strong here. And everything Josue said was true except that part, the last part I didn't like, because I won't be put beyond the pass, in this show. But go ahead. What do you think about drug use? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Are you for? Are you against? What's going on?
I thought it was bad up until I graduated from the DARE program, and then I kind of felt like, hey, you know what? Maybe they lied to me.
Okay.
I have had the pleasure of working with casual meth users, heroin users, alcoholics. And you know who was the biggest pain out of all the druggies that I've worked with? It was the alcoholics. Yeah. It was I am passing out mid-service cutting onions. And I'm over here like literally trying to wake up the guy, like tapping his shoulder while I'm calling the chef, like, chef, what do I do? Well, of course the chef didn't care. He said, thanks for letting me know. I'll take care of it tomorrow.
What a classic chef thing to say.
So
Great.
I'm just gonna say that I guess I'm a little more biased towards alcoholics, not so much the heroin and meth users. They seem to get their shit together. Well, they understand how they're demonized in public and mainstream everything, so they're on their best behavior.
And also, alcoholism is something that's very subtle. It's very sneaky. You can be a low-functioning alcoholic and still show up, right? But the heroin guys, the guys who can actually battle, outrun the H train, these guys that actually show up, they're so strong. Like they have a dependency, but they're strong enough to actually do your work and stay there. Alcoholism, it's easy to show up, but then when you're there, the great, us the greats, we are able to function properly, and the posers, the fake alcoholics, these are the ones that start sleeping on the job, cutting onions all wrong, and even worse, God forbid they get injured. What happens then? Who's to blame? Well, Josue, what were you doing? Weren't you supervising the guy?
That's what I'm saying. How does it fall on me? And then now his blood's thinned down. He's bleeding everywhere. Yeah. Whereas a heroin, a meth user, a crack guy, like he's not getting a shift rock after service. An alcoholic is. There's no incentive for the alcoholic to try because no matter what, he's going to get that participation trophy drink.
Yeah, exactly.
A meth guy, his check depends on it. He can't just fuck it up. Okay, this is his last Papa John's in town that he can't fuck it up. He has to do it, or else it's back to fucking flipping pizzas over at Wendy's, and Wendy's doesn't even sell pizzas.
Hey, I'm here for the pizza kook job. Anyways, but yeah, no.
Sir, this is a Little Caesars.
But no, what I was it's crazy because it's true. They don't give you a little bump, after a night's shift. Never, like this. Your addiction is never enabled by the place you work at, except if you're an alcoholic. Or
a energy drink fiend.
Really? They did that? Like where you work?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Tell me
if the bar that you have has, say, like Rockstar, I've been in some places they have Rockstar, some places don't have Rockstar, simply because their bar program is either like super from scratch, or you're gonna have your typical, hey, I want a fucking vodka and Rockstar, whatever the combo is.
Yeah.
I'll get that. I'll get coffee before service. So it's always like the energy. It's always that high. We want to give you a heart attack just so you can fucking survive through service. Which I think we kind of forget that is a type of drug. That is a drug.
Oh yeah.
It is altering. I wouldn't even put cigarettes in there. I wouldn't even put tobacco. I think I'd be more. Well, that's more like a fidget thing to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was gonna say, like, first of all, we already had an episode on it, so let's not rehash the content for Mr. Keller. For example, by the way, I love Mr. Keller, who I love very much, since he the
patron saint of comments. Every episode, he's like, "Are these guys joking? Are these guys serious?" Guys, please, I'm so sorry.
The prospect of having a 58-year-old man, think that I was actually offended instead of impressed by his prowess is very sad to me. Mr. Keller, I salute you. But anyways, what I'm going to say is the cigarettes thing. This is, you might have a negative opinion of it. You might say, oh, it's bad for you, whatever. But it's not. I mean, it does alter your mind for sure. And if you're a new smoker, you're a baby boy trying to be cool, you start getting the shakes or whatever, that might be bad. But you sit down, take a 15, you're going to be back all right. Cigarettes don't have this immediate effect on your, how to say, like, the worst thing it gives you is probably, like, smelling not great. I love the smell of tobacco, but that might be the worst thing you kind of bring into the line. However,
it just fucks with your taste buds. That's really the only con that I have against it. It's just gonna fuck with your taste buds.
I know we already had the kind of a thing, but can you go into that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the actual the science is behind it, but in doing so, you're putting something just like a really intense profile flavor, which will sort of dull out all the other flavors that you're going to be trying for the day.
No, because you're absolutely right. You're scientifically, it's absolutely true that it does affect taste buds, and everybody talks about this. However, again, all the big chefs. Tony talked about this. Tony, my friend Tony, Anthony Bourdain, he talked about this where all the biggest chefs, whether they like to admit it or not, he admitted it, but a lot of big chefs don't like to talk about it because, PR or whatever, but all of them smoke. And I know it's kind of a bad argument to say, oh, even they smoke, so everybody can. But I think that it doesn't, it varies on the person. Some people get affected that way. Others, they can still, appreciate taste because they have a higher sense of what tastes are, despite their tobacco use. But that's just, what I think about that.
I agree. No, I completely agree. That's why, I wouldn't even put cigarettes in a drug it's its own category.
Yeah.
Episode
I've 2, had Cook Will Sway. Check it out.
Yeah. I've even had chefs just say, listen, if you're going to have a cigarette, preferably do it after you're done with your prep, because that way you've tasted everything. You know what everything's going to taste like. Right. If it tweaks your taste buds a little bit, not a big fucking deal. No one gives a fuck after service. No one gives a fuck right before service. Just don't do it while you're doing your prep work. And that's a big suggestive. That's just hey, my 2 cents, do your thing. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, me, if I have one cigarette, it's nice and relaxing. I just feel like I can surf through service. One too many, I'm ugh, I can't do cigarettes that hardcore. But I agree with Anthony. Everyone does it. And if you don't, I think a lot of people like myself will usually just carry a pack with me. It's a good icebreaker. It's a good way, to bond. And I mean, it's a great alternative to alcohol. Or smoking weed. Those are too intense. With cigarettes, like you said, you'll get that nice little bump and you're good. If I have alcohol or a shot before service, I can't shake that off, And if it's a bad experience, that's not good.
Yeah. No, it's funny. For me, it's really weed actually that we talked about this. Yeah, it's alcohol. I can drink until the day's end and be fine. But weed, I have a baby boy's amount, and immediately I'm out of commission. It's insane. The tolerances for me is completely flipped for most people. I could drink millions of shots, billions of shots. I can end the gastropub's beer reserves and be fine. But a little bit of weed and I'm done.
I wish I could do that. I wish I had your tolerance for alcohol.
Well, no, it's not a good thing because that means I just drink more.
I want to drink more. I don't want to go home early. I don't want to be the guy that's Jose, we just got here 15 minutes ago and your first beer is knocking you out. You're all tuckered out, buddy. All those hours that you've been working for free.
Yeah.
I'm catching up to you.
You go up to your chef. It's did you ever notice how blue your eyes are?
Yeah, exactly. I love your raccoon eyes. They look so good on you. It's sexy.
Brutal. Fatality.
It's like 90s heroin chic. We're doing 2020s meth, tired out, overworked cook chic.
You're like Sick Boy from Trainspotting. That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
Dang,
100%.
What a great movie. But that movie thought, that might have put some thoughts into people's heads that all of these heroin guys are thieves and will screw you over, which is not the case all the time. It might happen.
No, it's not true at all. I mean, one of my best friends is a casual user of that.
Same. I know.
And my God, I would trust that guy. I would trust that guy on the line and off the line. He's never done me wrong. And he has his shit together. Some people don't. You know what? This is really pretty fucking deep now that you think about it. Because, it's we're experiencing the everyday drug users. And I would have to say it's the alcoholics. It's the alcoholics I'm going to throw under the bus.
Yeah, real.
Y'all are just fucking sloppy.
I deserve it.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. You can't hide the smell. At least when I go in, I'm like, hey, what's the smell of plastic? Oh, I know what that is. Never mind. I won't say it out loud.
Who fucking
Alcohol,
stinks over here?
hide.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that shit. So, like, why are the light bulbs missing?
Also, the worst thing also is having a flask. You know, that's way more embarrassing. Like, if you can't carry heroin with you, you know? There's no quick delivery system like in stadiums what people have. It's like they have a hose from their genitals to their back, where there's a little sack so they can piss without getting up and missing the game.
Yeah, colostomy bag.
Yeah. Okay, well that's the medical term, but there's one that doesn't go inside the urethra. Anyways, let's not get too specific, nitty gritty with it.
Are you talking about the ones that long distance runners will use?
Sure.
Besides just
long
pissing
distance runners, more like
themselves?
overweight guys who don't want to get up at the Nets game, but yeah.
Or their D&D game.
Oh,
Or their WoW game.
yeah, that's even worse. The internet cafes in Cambodia, you know, everybody's smoking ciggies and they're just there like, oh, I can't get up. This is my big break. I'm gonna win. Anyways, I don't know what they say.
I'm gonna just say, dude, Southeast Asians and cigarettes are on a whole other level.
True.
Holy fuck! I don't think any American can keep up with the amount of cigarettes those motherfuckers smoke.
That's so true.
In one go.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just experience in college. The greatest smokers always are Arabs and South Koreans, always, because they're just there, you know, squatting down in the pose. You know, the pose where you're not exactly.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Kind of like the Gopnik thing, like just crouching down. Yeah, and like smoking ciggies, looking around, all fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Damn. I wish
it's
I was
a
that
good
cool.
center of gravity. It feels good. It feels right. You can feel yourself getting in tune with your ancestors.
Uh-huh.
The 10,000 years of tobacco that it took for it to get into your little hand behind a fucking dirty ass kitchen, and just I'm one with the infinite right now.
Oh my goodness, Korean Anthony Bourdain is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thought to have. But anyways, let's not digress too much. What I'm saying is, I forgot what I was saying. I have no idea what I'm saying. So let's move on. What's your next argument? Well, are you against drugs or for drugs? What's going on? Alcoholics.
For drugs. For drugs.
against alcohol. Gotcha.
Alcoholics do not get in that door. if you gave me like a meth, a crack, a heroin addict, an alcoholic, I'm hiring everyone except the alcoholic. Go fuck yourself.
True. And also, it's like the alcohol is so sad, man. Like it never puts you in a good. Some people, for normies, it does. But for us, how it works is it gets you just in such a depressed mood. You're like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm drinking. Oh, I'm such a piece of shit. Let me drink more. It's like a cycle. It keeps on going, but it never ends in like, hey, what a great day this is. Let me, go to the line, have a great service, and then get off and enjoy some drinks with friends. No, it's like, this existence is pain. Everything sucks. And I drink for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like depressive by nature. Whereas someone on coke,
doomer drink.
Yeah, someone on coke can be fucking jolly as hell. Hell isn't jolly, but you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you mean. Those motherfuckers will come up with the best ideas, the best cleaning tactics. 9 out of 10, they'll be wrong. But you know what? They're giving maximum effort.
Hey, chef, look how fast I can clean.
That's what I'm saying. If I was my executive chef, I'd hire the cokeheads because they're definitely giving 100%.
True. But But these guys are dying these days. It's a dying breed. I think they're endangered.
It is. My chef would talk about like they do like little sheet trays of Coke or 9 pants full of Coke because everyone would put in money and it would just be in the back of the kitchen and everyone would just have like, they knew how to handle themselves. They'd have like a quick little bump and go on the line. This was clearly before energy drinks that fucked it all up. I'm pretty sure just doing a little bump of Coke is much healthier than doing like how many Red Bulls, how many White Claws.
True.
I don't know if that even counts as a fucking energy drink.
No, but I know what you're saying.
It's so
more. Yeah.
Exactly. It's so bad.
Literally. Yeah. Well, that's one part of it. The other part is that they're putting fentanyl in Coke these days. So that's just giving people overdoses all the time.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Why would you want to kill your consumer base? It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah,
It makes no sense. It'd be like doubling down on every allergy mod that I get. Oh, they're allergic to fish? Fuck it, man. We're going to cook this with fucking fish broth.
Yeah, literally. That's
like, it makes
what is
no
that, a bone?
sense.
A fish bone? Yeah.
It's like learn from Walter White, a pure yield, it makes happier customers.
Yeah.
And happier customers creates returning customers. Why would you want to kill your base?
This all comes back to Reagan and the war on drugs, you see. If we had a peaceful leader, like the Colombians used to have, after Escobar, we used to have this. Used to have a steady income of cocaine in the U.S., money flowing out, and everyone was fine. It was gentleman business. It was all good. People were just happy. Now, what they did is they scattered all the big, producers and sellers and exporters into these small little factions which don't have the business-like opportunities to have a good product. So essentially, all you have right now is either you're extremely rich and you get it straight from the source, and then that's good, but I don't think you're listening to this show if you are, or you're one of us poor fellas who has to deal with what's going on, You get what you
pray
to
fucking God that it doesn't have fentanyl in it.
It's like Russian roulette. It's like, will this bump kill me? Yes or no? Let's try out. Yeah.
If I was selling meth, hypothetically, or just selling any drug, I'd want to sell like a little test strip so people could just test themselves. Be like, look, my stuff is legit, and I'm giving you a nice little product too. Because sometimes it comes in baggies. I don't know if you've seen drugs being sold in the city. It's a more personalized experience in the way the packaging works.
True.
So it's like, why not just slip something like that in?
I'd be more prone to buy. YouTube purposes, this is all a joke. We're talking about Minecraft because this is gonna get destroyed for sure. Like they're super. That's really funny. They're super stingy about 3 things online. I'm not talking about ideology or whatever because that's another thing, political censorship. But buttholes, nipples, and any drug talk gets immediately canceled and banned, which is very sad because Zuck doesn't appreciate Zuck or Wojcicki or whatever. They don't appreciate the fact that the drug users are the real heroes. And the real evil, which you'd be focusing on, is the alcoholics.
Yeah, why do you think they're taking drugs? They're taking drugs so they can push themselves to the next day. So they can just make it through the fucking 8, 9, 10, 11 hours that they have to work with.
Yeah.
Getting a bump is probably going to prevent someone from jumping out the window and killing themselves. You know who's killing themselves in China? People going through withdrawal. People who don't have the drugs on hand because they can't afford it.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, there might be other people as well, but yeah, that's definitely true. I'm sure people in remission are killing themselves. And the worst thing about it is that, think of this. How many times did, heroin users, well, heroin users may be different, but like someone, just like a coke user, let's say, ask you like, hey man, this is like the greatest thing of all time. You should definitely join me. It might happen, but it's way less likely to happen than an alcoholic. It's like, oh, you had this bourbon?
Get out of here, DC. You don't want none of this, DC. This is bad stuff, DC.
Yeah, exactly. Only weed and alcohol guys are like, bro, this is like the best thing ever, man. This puts you in a new mood. Have you thought about your chakras recently? It's like, bro, wait a second. Now, wait a minute. If I thought about my chakras, I wouldn't be in a kitchen. I'd be out there in the ocean floating, So get the hell away from me.
You'd be a food runner. You'd be a server. You'd be doing any front of house activity if you were about your chakras.
Yeah, exactly.
Or your horoscope.
I'd be probably about the being stupid chakra. What is that? Do you know? Is there a
You'd
chakra?
be one of those like yogi lifters.
Oh yeah. I'm cultivating my kundalini so I can do this bench press later on. Yeah. Damn. That's true. No offense against people who think about these things, but the world of the kitchen is a wasteland. You see, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the well-adjusted necessarily. So if you want to take that freaking Zen bullshit out of here, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
And that's why we're kind of not even like knocking the drugs because we see it every day. It's like I can tell immediately someone that's just consumed whatever the TV has told them to think versus someone's like, nah, man, I see these people every day. Look, there's a reason why I'm knocking on fucking alcoholics versus a heroin or a coke addict. Yeah. Okay. Because only one of those 3 have given me continuous problems day in, day out.
And don't even mention weed smokers. That's because it's not about the weed. It's about the attitude. And I don't know if you work with some, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. And it makes me not even want to admit that I do weed because the problem with weed smokers or anyone that consumes THC is they want to make that their entire personality.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, can you imagine if someone just wrapped your entire personality on the fact that you just like an energy drink or coffee? Like, I like it, but it's not that serious. Yeah, it's not that serious. Like, chill the fuck out. Not everything's like, who's wait, it's 420 on 420. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to get service going. Can you get the fuck out of my way?
That's crazy. It's like, what time is it? Oh, it's 4:20. Hey, blaze up, whatever. Damn.
Hey, I'm an adult, not a high school kid. I got nowhere to sneak off.
Damn. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Yeah, literally. And well, what I'm saying is though, it's like reasonably, who hasn't smoked? Who hasn't actually had a drink? Everybody has. But it's the fact that if you define yourself through that consumption, that you become this monster. You become this beast of annoyance. You know?
Yeah, because you're no fucking different than a vegan. Potheads and vegans are like right there on that same, like, we get it. You have to fucking let us know.
Vegans are drug addicts as well. Did you know?
What?
Vegans are drug addicts as well. Did you know?
No. That's fucking hilarious. That is hilarious.
Because they're addicted to feeling superior to everybody else. I think that's what they get off on. It's like every time someone says, "Oh, would you like the meat option?" It's like they get ready. It's like that adrenaline bump when you get when you shoot up for the first time. That's the thing that they feel it every single time. It's the high that never diminishes when you see like, well, actually, I don't eat meat. I don't even eat chicken. Pescatarian? No thanks. I'm vegan. You know, that boom, busting. The chakras align, dude.
That's how it always starts. Actually, shut the fuck up, Adam. Adam ruins everything. Go fuck yourself. Motherfucker can't even hold his own fucking, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but the motherfucker can't even hold an argument together without going, well, I'm not an expert, but the people that I've talked to have an opinion.
Yeah. Appeal to authority. That's what they like. It's like, well, it's not me you're against the science. You know, the science in big quotes, by the way. I'm not.
That's what happens when you try to be so inclusive with everyone, because then you're like, fuck, I can't be inclusive with everyone because, go fuck
by
off.
definition,
fuck off.
I love this. I saw an old high school buddy of mine, what he posted recently, because I don't keep up with old acquaintances that don't really talk to me, you know? Like, it's like, if I have a circle of friends, I keep them close, but I don't like to just, you know, if I see someone from, like, middle school or I knew as a kid, I'd be like, hey, how's it going? But I won't actively seek to reconnect with these people, because it's like, well, you don't know me anymore, you know? Like, you're a different person than you used to be. But what I saw recently is this this guy, he posted this infographic about the famous vegetarians of the world. You know, and he said like, oh, there was Gandhi, there was this thing, so proving that not only are they better, but all the peace-loving, you know, historical figures were vegetarians, which for me is very funny. It's hilarious because you know very well that a certain German leader between 1939 and 1945 was vegetarian. Do you know this?
Yeah, he was vegetarian and he loved animals much so that his troops would make sure there was no like roadkill on the road. Yeah. They would, you know, deter his path to a more safer, animal-friendly path. I don't know why they're not out here advocating as that guy as part of their team.
True.
Like, I mean, these people, these vegans love animals so much. How many times have you seen those posts where it's like, I'd rather save a puppy than a fucking baby. Oh, yeah. I choose animals over human. Really? Really? Like, you want to adopt that guy? Cowards. All right.
Oh no, vegetarians don't have the right idea. I don't eat dairy either. You know, it's like, good man. Thank you for telling me that you have a calcium deficiency. Excuse me. But also, I want to be this thing. Equally as disturbing, equally as disgusting and small-balled energy is the people who are super proud of eating meat. You know, like
Joe Rogan.
I didn't want to go hoagie right away, but yeah, you know, like
no, you gotta go all the way. You can't.
Hey, listen, I'm a comedian, all right. I want one day my dream is to be on hoagie. You know, everybody's dream is. You know, it's like if you don't go there, if you go there,
you can't go there if you're not willing to roast him because he's gonna be like, man, this guy's just dick riding me.
Yeah, but that's
not once have you roasted me, DC. What the fuck's up with that? You don't think I'm funny? Look at my head. I look like an egg. I look like Humpty Dumpty.
I can't look at his head; it's too low. Anyways, but no, what I'm saying is. It's very embarrassing when people take this other stance, like, I hate vegans. Vegans are like the parasites of the world. I love eating meat. It's like, bro, chill. Everybody likes, you know, meat's pretty tasty, but don't go full 180 either, you know. Like modern meat, meat doesn't exist anymore, by the way. Everything we have is like part microplastic and part fucking growth hormone, you know? Like actual natural meat doesn't exist in this world anymore because the air we breathe isn't pure anymore. The water beds, there's no ocean that isn't polluted. So all your fishes,
just going back to your earlier point, everything has sugar. And it blows my mind that even something like meat, they'd even put sugar in it. But it has sugar. There's sugar in there. Yeah. Fucking weird. But yeah, so you know what? Everyone's to fucking blame. True. Everyone.
True.
Just sit the fuck down and calm down. Enjoy what you like. You don't have to let us know. Quietly give us your modded orders, okay? You don't have to make an announcement. Yeah. And if you don't like onions, it's okay. Just don't say you're allergic to onions because we know you're lying.
That's even worse because they believe that in that case we will have sympathy for them. Be like, oh, that's so sad that he never had a gratiné. It's so sad that he never had these French delicacies because he's allergic to onions. But actually, what we're thinking is, fuck that guy. That's what it is. We're not sympathetic to your allergies at all. Either you tell us from the get-go, or you don't say it at all and you eat the food. You know, get a little rash. Don't tell me that you're allergic to something after having received the food. That's ridiculous.
After you've eaten more than 50% of it.
Yeah, that's even worse.
You ate the entire dish, and then you're going to come and tell me, oh, the customer said it was cold. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, not to give you a little lesson in thermodynamics, front of house retard, but as time progresses, the room and the food try to reach equilibrium. That means that there is heat going out of the food. So eventually, the hottest food of all time will become cold if it stays out for hours on end. You know, sorry to break it to you, I don't change the laws of physics because of one customer.
Can we bring back like silver lids on food? Just like in old Looney Tunes cartoons. Yes. Like, can we just normalize that shit all over again? Because that'd be kind of nice. You send out your food, it's covered. You don't have to worry about it. You take it out, it's still steaming, and it's hot. It's
Yeah, but the dish pit will hate you. Think about that. How much more?
All that extra shit. Yeah. God damn. Yeah.
Like I started out as a dishwasher in my restaurant, and the worst thing I can imagine is working at either a Japanese or a Korean barbecue restaurant, because those ones have at least 50 plates per customer, because they bring you all the small raw fish, in tiny little plates, which is like way more than a regular restaurant, which is just like we got freaking plates, maybe a bowl, like it's 3 or 4 items of plating max. But with these restaurants, they give, I'm telling you, like 50, 75. That's gotta be suicide. That guy's doing drugs, I'm telling you. The local Japanese restaurant guy, the dish pit guy, definitely does drugs, because otherwise he wouldn't make it.
That's true. What drug is it that they use? Poppies, right?
I mean, that's a little. I don't know, because just they're being Asianic means that they're necessarily heroin poppy guys.
I don't appreciate your anti-Asian cultural attitude.
Well, I mean,
immediately I say poppy, you're like, whoa, hold on a second. This is 1, 2. That's too much. I can't go there with you.
It's equal to being like, if you have like a black dishwasher, it's like, what is he drinking? Watermelon Red Bull? It's like you don't assume that stuff. You can. You know how mad they get.
I had a guy in the same situation. He's like, look, I know I'm fucking black, but yeah, I do like my fucking watermelon in Arizona. All right, chill the fuck out.
Well, because that's fine. I hate it. That's a typical. I'm protecting my Asian bros right now. White guys love this, like pointing out what is a stereotype. And I just did it like 2 seconds ago. That's so fucking stupid as well. They're like, actually, if you're doing this and consuming this, it means you're feeding into the stereotypes. Like, bro, shut your fucking mouth. I love watermelon. I love chicken. You're allowed to legally eat chicken as a black guy. You're allowed to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like, chill the fuck out. Like everything is race related.
Yeah.
Everything is gonna end up being like that. I wonder what races are even drugs are. Meth, you think of white people. Crack, you think black people.
And actually legislation as well. It's always been racist, not I don't know if we have some freaking hardcore like Jordan Peterson-ites like, oh no, race doesn't exist, whatever, but every drug that was made illegal as a basis of race. The first one was heroin and poppies because that was Asiatic and Afghan influenced. Then they focused on, like, you know, the things that people consume right now, like SSRIs and antidepressants. All of that stuff was mainly used by white people for a long time. And every single drug that went down the list first targeted minorities. Like weed, the same thing. You know, like the reason why white people who smoking weed is recent. You know, it's from the boomers. It's from the fucking baby boomers and the hippies. It used to be this thing that, you know, fucking like Latinos and black people used to smoke, and that's where it becomes demonized. And now it's like, oh, well, no, it's for the greater good, whatever. But putting people in jail, putting the same addicts who wash your dishes and prepare your delicious food in jail will not help them get off it. It will just make them unemployable. So
now you're gonna send him off to a prison where he has to fend for himself physically. Yeah. Can you imagine, DC? You're just like, hey, we're just gonna go do some meth, just casually. Let's buy some $20 worth. We'll have a lost weekend. Bam! Now you're doing 20 years in a level 4 because they thought that you were about to go distribute, and now someone's handing you a fucking shank, and it's like, okay, DC, this is either going into your cellies or it's going into you. Which one is it? And you're like, bro, I'm really good friends with my cellie. We get along. We have a system down when we use the bathroom.
Yeah.
God, that is so fucked up.
It really is. And yeah, and it's like if you think about this as well, like this is a whole war on drugs thing. It's like, I don't think, you know, being a felon is the exact same thing as getting the cheese touch in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I don't know if you read those books, those classic literary classics, but if you get essentially it's an old piece of cheese in the playground, right? And a kid who touches it has the cheese touch, right? And he will have it and be avoided by everybody until he gives on the touch to someone else, right? That's the thing. But the problem is, one time, a German exchange student touched the cheese and got deported, and he brought the cheese touch with him to Germany. That's the same situation, except the opposite, because if you're a felon, you cannot give the cheese touch, the felon touch, to anybody else. You'll become a felon, you're a felon for your entire life. You know, you come out of jail, let's say you didn't do anything horrible, you're pretty unscathed, although that's impossible, you know, mentally, whatever, but you get out there, and you try to find a job. First thing, have you been accused of any crimes or convicted for felonies? You have to say yes, because they have the record. So at that point, you're being reduced to a felon-only establishment. So either you work in a restaurant that has dubious practices.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. In a restaurant that has like dubious practices, like they'll take in, workers from overseas, like illegals, but treat them like shit because they know they have this banhammer of sending you back home over them, which is like essentially slavery. Or they take in felons and be like, well, you know, if you don't do what I say, if you don't do these extra shifts and work super hard without big pay, I will fucking say your probation has to be expired and you have to go back to jail, you know? Like, you will have this mafia-like sort of threats in front of people, and that's disgusting.
That is gross. That is fucked up.
Sorry about going off on this. I hate the legal system.
No, I know exactly what you mean. And unless you can afford like a really good lawyer, you're fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, man, you're kind of, you know, it's a great way to keep people in control. Especially you said it all, DC. You said it all.
That being said,
I can't.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah.
That being said, what?
That being said, even worse is that they're coming up with new cars, and as cars become more technological, there will be an increase in, quote unquote, harm reduction practices. So I'm telling you, in the next 15 years, we're gonna have cars with alcohol tests. You know, you have to blow into it, and it won't unlock and start if you aren't under the limit. Maybe. I mean, most cars now it's happening, dude. You already see it. It's already a thing you can get.
I mean, yeah, that's true. They do already have those attachments, those court-ordered attachments. Man, I mean, really, if you gotta have to buy your freedom. You know,
you get an illegally modified Honda Civic without that. Yeah.
I had a restaurant owner. There was a guy who was a drunk, and the guy needed help. He had called out several times because he was just too drunk or too hungover.
Yeah.
He would drunk call employees at 4 or 5 in the morning. Just crazy shit. The guy was just sloppy.
Yeah.
And he gets fired. He gets let go. He goes on a 24-hour, tangent, calling every manager that he can whose number he can get a hold of.
As a boozer does.
As a boozer does. Exactly. But the owner probably never once encountered an alcoholic. He tells his wife he's going to go out to like the store or something. He ends up going to this employee's house and then just like, does this whole like, hey, if you ever fucking call us again. But the thing that really got to me that I heard that he said is, one of us has the bail money and the other one doesn't. If I come back here next time, and it's like that is some like privileged, like rich people shit right there. Like I fucking can't stand. Of course you're gonna go hard like that because you have the fucking money. I don't know how that ties in with the drugs, but you know what? At least
no, but I know exactly what you're saying.
You gotta be a little more careful.
That's the fucking thing. You can. There is a price in the United States of America, for which you can kill someone legally. Essentially. I mean, if you're a celebrity and you like
Motley Crue,
Motley Crue, yeah, great example. A little less cool, Jenner as well. Miss Jenner, she killed a guy.
That motherfucker killed a guy, and then now he's like hero.
What do you mean? Whoa! Wait a minute. Yeah. But so and so I'm saying if you have. Yeah, of course there's loops. Of course you have to be publicly apologetic. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't think of that. But at the end of the day, you killed someone and you're getting away for it. And you might find yourself on the cover of Vanity Fair. So I think...
And you don't ever have to even talk about it. But a guy that maybe does some drugs, he gets locked out for 20 years. Yeah. He has to do some just incredibly extraordinary things just for people to even like look past that.
True.
Which is fucking lame because it's like, dude, not everyone is going to go. Most people just want to turn their lives around and just carry on. But unfortunately, they can't because like you said, we see in your background check that you are here distributing drugs.
Yeah.
Or you're like, it's fucking ridiculous. I fucking hate that shit.
It's so funny, too. They let college students vote, but not felons. Think about that for a second.
You guys are fucking morons. All due respect, you were just in high school. You were just in your mom and dad's house like a few years ago. You're now learning how the system works, and your full confidence is okay. That's enough for me to have an opinion.
and impose that opinion on the country too. That's awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah. And it gets even crazier when you go into some of these colleges where it is just like the absurdity behind our protests. Like you want to include everyone, but then you're caught in that circle where it's like, well, you're going to have to, that one group that you were defending is kind of shady. So what are you going to do? Well, I mean, we got to figure out a way how to be inclusive. Yeah. No, we don't.
How about you figure out a way how to live in the real world, Like have a little, I'm not trying to be like this friggin' boomer over here. Do what you want. But I'm saying it's ridiculous to exclude some people from everything. Exclude from life, can't own firearms, can't even... I mean, it varies. It varies very, steeply. Some people get away with it with a little slap on the wrist, but then other people for a similar crime, or even more, like less of a crime, get essentially put in the ban zone, like shadow banned on Instagram. Same thing, except in real world.
You get shadow banned in real life. You're forever. You make that one mistake. Yeah. Your one friend asks you to hold like a quarter ounce of coke. That's it.
Yeah.
Now you're compared to Pablo Escobar. Now you're probably running with the fucking hoods, the Aryan Nation.
That's the other thing, too. It's so fucked up. Either you join a gang or you become a Nazi in jail. What is this? Why?
Like, what the fuck is this shit? And then they're not even specific. They'll just look at you. You'll be like, yo, like, I'm actually Middle Eastern, not white. You look white enough, brother.
That's fucked up. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, but also very sad. And what I'm saying is essentially is that in the kitchen, though, I think this is the one episode where we agree on this. I think we're against the boozers, no alcohol in kitchens, and for the other drug users. Although,
and we're kind of shitting on the potheads too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
And for the record, I'm a pothead, so don't come out with like, oh, you don't, no. I'm fucking getting high, and I'm telling you, like, no. Leave that shit at home or after service.
I'm an alcoholic too. Yeah, for sure. Like, it doesn't mean we can't speak on these things. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
This was, yeah. That's it. That's how you know we said what we needed to say.
True.
There's no more. That's it.
True.
Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah. Tell us how you feel in the comments about drug use. Let us know what your drug of choice is. You don't have to say me, but you can say a friend I know likes.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure, job security is really important in America, especially now that we have management listening in on these conversations. They're not gonna like it, but it's the fucking truth.
Mr.
So
Keller, how about your brother? What does your brother Thomas Keller like to consume? Tell me about that. Tell me. It's so
he
funny.
likes to consume the smells of his own farts filtered through a nice smoker. With
Wait, you don't like Thomas Keller? Let's get to that real quick. You don't like Thomas Keller? French Laundry. Come on.
The only thing I've ever heard of Thomas Keller is talks, and he seems very like a nice guy I'd want to talk to. Actually, you know what? I know there's one story where the guy from Millennia, him and Thomas, back when he was a cook working at the French Laundry, they were working on a stock for 3 days, which if you've ever made stock from scratch, it makes total sense. And I can only imagine how amazing a 3-day stock that you've been working on. Grant accidentally dumps all the stock down the drain. And all Thomas did was he just gently puts his hand on his shoulder, nods his head, and then they just start the stock all over again. Nice. That is a fucking G right there. Like, listen, if he would have been mad at me, I get it. I am ready to accept the consequences. But we've discussed this before. If your cooks respect you enough, they're going to carry that shame of letting you down. And I think that is way more effective than anyone ever yelling at you or being passive aggressive. 100%. I think Thomas Keller is a solid dude. I'm not sure about the staff that he has working on now, because I'm sure a lot of them are dick writers who love their chef coats and they've seen fucking Gordon one too many times.
Yeah, that's the same thing with everybody, though. I think it happens. Like even David Chang, I would not like to talk to one of his cooks or one of his chefs, because the sheer like attitude that engulfs his whole personality. Like, oh, I'm the greatest. I was the youngest chef to get like 2 Michelin stars or whatever. And then like the people who work under that, the drive, like it's good for kitchen. It's good for cooking. I mean, it's good for that whole thing. Probably the food is incredible. I've never been to Momofuku yet, but it's got to be insane. However, personality wise, you're making a sacrifice. You're putting everything into that craft, which you are the best at, which makes you insufferable, I think.
Currently reading his biography, and it sounds very interesting.
Eat a peach?
And yeah,
hell
you read it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Reading to me is not my strong suit, so It's like I have to really in the first 20 minutes it's a struggle, but after that I find my rhythm, and there's a lot of things there that I just feel like are mirroring me. Like I feel like he's describing my life, but it seems like he was an asshole, not so much anymore. He's being really retrospective and just trying to change that shit around. But I mean, I think I saw. Did you see the Last Dance?
With Michael Jordan? No,
like the Bulls.
I saw clips though. But
there was just a clip, and it's like I have to agree. Where it's like sometimes if you want that next level shit, you're gonna have to sort of be an asshole just because you're trying to push. You can't afford that slack. I get that. I love it in the appropriate setting.
Exactly.
You're gonna be coming maybe to my restaurant right now. You look really fucking corny, dude. That there's only one guy that's carrying that much, and a place like, I imagine the French Laundry, I imagine every cook down to the dishwasher understands what's at stake and what they gain to benefit from just giving that level of dedication.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of time. But for those that do, I fucking respect that shit.
No, absolutely. That's the thing. It's like, again, I'm saying this with I'm very careful with my words. This is not a knock on these people. It's just like saying that I would never want to interact with you and meet you is not a bad thing. Because you're not, most people, that's true for most people without them being A-class cooks, Like most people are just insufferable, but these people are insufferable because they care about a craft, and that's respectable. Nothing but respect.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's almost like Jocko. Like I respect Jocko Willing, like what he has to say, but I can't
what
imagine.
What are you into, you're looking at bald podcasters, bro? What's up with bringing up all these other poods?
Are they? Oh yeah, he does have a
Jocko
podcast.
Willings.
Jesus fucking.
All right, yes, we're gonna talk about this thing. Alpha Echo. How's my cock look? Is my cock looking nice? How's my dick to ball ratio?
Good. It means he's gonna focus on service, on Slack. Man's an alcoholic. Good. It means he's gonna get himself out of the way, and you get to pick up the slack for him. I couldn't do that. There's a time and a place for that. I can't do that. Like, I'm sure you would look really corny if you brought your fucking gym energy to the fucking kitchen. Yeah. I'd be like, DC, calm the fuck down, dude.
Literally.
Just drop the fries and put out the food.
Yeah. I love doing potatoes, for fries, cutting the potatoes with a potato cutter. I love doing that. Just a little tricep workout. And like, oh, what is this guy showing off? Because they're all out of shape. All the men had tits in the back of house. except for me. You know how sad that is?
You look like the guy who's like that chef for the White House who does like 5,000 push-ups at 4 in the morning.
500
I can't believe
push-ups.
that motherfucker.
500 girls. Yeah,
I do 5,000. He laughs because he knows that shit is not true.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't buy that shit for a minute.
And
that
he's natural,
man is
apparently.
roided
No
to
steroids.
the gills. No, no.
I know.
His dick is on its own cycle.
Presidential penis. Yeah. But anyways, I'm just I think so that's very different. That's very different. But if you want, I just have to say this because I would hate myself for not doing so. You have to read Medium Raw by Bourdain. Probably his best book, even better than Kitchen Confidential in my opinion. He has a whole chapter on David Chang, and I don't know David Chang. I don't know him personally, but I think it's the most honest look that's been put out there on him. Because first of all, it's all praise at first. It's all like, he's a brilliant chef, he did all this thing, you know, he was very young when he started, and he's an insanely hard worker, but also he's got deep issues, like deep self-image and ego issues, and I think he kind of goes into that lovingly, Bourdain. So I think that's very, if you want a good look on it, like, because Eat a Peach, I did not find it honest. I don't trust David Chang at all.
You can't really trust a bio thing like that,
Exactly.
you know? Like the only one that I've heard that's like, okay, that seems legit would be like Kitchen Confidential.
Because he hates himself.
That's stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hate yourself in his stories. What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
You know, like,
yeah.
he didn't have a reputation at that time. Like, who the fuck cares? That book could have bombed.
True.
It's fine. He's still honest about it. David Chang, once that book came out, yeah, you know, you got an image to maintain. You can't go around talking about how you called fucking your servers cunts.
Yeah. And also he's prone to huge, apparently, because again, I say these things, I hate it when people do that. I don't know David Chang. I don't want to speak about someone I respect but don't know, you know, but I'm just saying what has been talked about with his cooks is that he explodes on you sometimes. Like he goes into like tirades. If I was a cook, that would fill me with rage and anger. But as someone on the outside, not affected, I don't know. Is that the source to success? Maybe. I couldn't say.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I agree with you because we're both in the industry, so it's like it sounds like we're ragging on someone in the industry, but it's not like that. It's just I get it firsthand. Like I bring my own baggage to the kitchen. You bring your own baggage to the kitchen.
Hell
and
yeah!
somehow
I got a baggage right here.
We have to transform that into something useful that we can put out in the kitchen. Unfortunately, for some people, it's yelling. You know, I've had people where I'm like, dude, you're fucking really good. You're a fantastic chef, but you're a fucking asshole, dude. But it's only because you're fucking good that people put up with it. Yeah. And it's just a fucking shame. But it's good to have a conversation. David Chang, I know that you listen to this because we're the most influential podcast in the food the most realist motherfucking podcast ever. Okay, we're like the No Jumper of Culinary.
Again, another podcast. Stop it.
What? I don't know, man. I'm in a roll.
Damn.
This is the culture. True. Okay, David? True. This is the culture.
All right,
we're not knocking you. We're just saying you're kind of a dick sometimes, but we see the success. We see where that takes you. We're just saying there's probably a different way to go about things. We're going to try it out. I'm willing to fail and fuck up. You've established yours. Let me make mine. Don't shit on me.
What is this, a plea to David Chang?
That was...
Please don't shit on me. I'm going to be a great chef like you. Damn. That's awesome. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
That's the episode. Everyone, thanks for listening to A Cook Will Sway.
Yes.
Let us know what you think. What are your situations with self-medication on the line, self-medication in line?
Alternative
give us
healing.
your stories. You're good, you're bad, and you're ugly. You know what? Everyone's always talking about the ugly, always talking about the bad.
True.
Do you have a special someone in your life who likes to do some extracurricular activities? Let us know about it in the comment section. DM us. Let us know.
Yeah.
This was A Cook Will Sway.
And vote.
And vote. Voting matters. Unless you're under the age of 21, shut the fuck up. Go to school, finish college, have 10 years of experience, and then look back and see if it's worth voting on the same shit that you were voting on.
And I'm safe. I barely made the cutoff, so I can vote now. Hell yeah. But
DC
also,
can vote. He's earned that right.
But also, I want to tell you this. You know, you love your government so much. This is the only place where felons can vote. Think about that for a second. Just say, I'm not going to explain it.
We don't knock you on your past. We don't judge you on your past.
Can you vote in your elections? Not
we
quite.
look at you and we look at the potential that you could be.
Right.
And it starts with your voice. It starts with giving you just a little sliver of self-confidence, saying like, you know what? I'm going to vote.
Yeah, but only if you like this video. Like and subscribe. Otherwise,
Let us know if you think we're weird.
No! If you either you tell us we're weird or no, except Keller. Keller bought the right. Keller, bless you, Keller.
He
07.
owns it. He is the only person who I will accept critiques from. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. Everyone else, go fuck yourself. You can go ahead and hit the dislike button. You can unsubscribe. It makes no fucking difference to me.
I disallow it.
Yep. It's my name on the YouTube channel, A Whole Name's Way. He says, suck my dick.
Beautiful. Take care, everybody. Keep cooking.
Keep rocking in the free world.
No, let's take it already.
World.
Keep on cooking in the open kitchen. It's not good.
Keep on
we'll find something better. All right.
We'll figure this out. That was perfect. Bless, you're a fucking moron. Fuck you.